good, everybody? Welcome to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. I am Mrs. Best. We are here to go over Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I believe this was the season finale. It was titled Alternate Endings. I don't know why they spelled alternate that way. That is not the correct spelling, but I write what the television says. This was season 12, episode 31. James is here with us. He typed out into our little private chat BRB, so he will be right back. This is our fourth live today together, so but the link to his channel is in the description of this video as always, and I hope that y'all click on it and
support him. I'm here. Sorry.
Oh, welcome in. Welcome in. But I was asking, I'm like, is this the season finale, James?
No. This is the hiatus again.
Mm-hmm. That's so stupid, because half of the shit that we saw this season, we saw on social media. So if y'all not giving us nothing else outside of what we see on social media, y'all can keep it. Get rid of Rashida, get rid of Kirk, get rid of Yandy, get rid of Mendices, get rid of Spice, get rid of Carly, get rid of Scrappy, get rid of Jock, get rid of Kendra, and leave everybody else there. I'm getting tired of this cast, but let's get into Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, y'all. We are going to be starting the episode at Rashida's second annual pressed fashion show. She is basically the Bloomingdale's of Rainbow. That's how I view her. It's true. It's true. It's true. James, it's the truth. And you know it is.
I was muted.
Lord help us, y'all. But that's what's happening. But she has her fashion show. I'm glad Prest is doing well. I am glad for that. But at this fashion show, Zell shows receipts before walking the stage of T-Lo cheating on Carly with what he called an age-appropriate woman. Which, honestly, T.O. should not be with a woman Carly's age. Carly could have birthed him. Carly could have birthed the woman who birthed him. She's too old for him, in my opinion. And I would say the same thing if tables was turned and he was way older than her. Like, it just does not work. But this is my thing with Zell Swag. I know last week people were like, Zell read Carly down. I don't feel like a man's place is to read a woman down, especially when she did not come for Zell. Zell read her because he was mad he wasn't invited to her wedding after talking shit about her relationship to everybody but her. After fraternizing and entertaining her ops. Zell did a lot of stuff that if it was any other person, everybody would feel a way about. But because it's Carly, cannot keep a man read. Everyone seems to be okay with it. But I don't like the way he moves as a friend. I don't like the way he moves as a spouse. I don't like the way he moves as a man. Like, you could tell just every move that he makes is messy. How did you feel about him sharing that receipt at the event?
I feel like, yes, it was messy. And yeah, I would have much rather him not do that personally. But we know this is the reality TV show, and this is Love and Hip Hop, for crying out loud. So, of course, he's going to do it. But I would, if you really cared about her, you would spare her this embarrassment.
That's the truth.
You would spare her this embarrassment because you know she has a problem. And I think there's something more apparent here that I feel like just exposing this to the friend group and then on national TV on top of that is not going to do her any favors. It's not going to change anything. And it's not going to make her realize any type of epiphany that she needs to realize. This is only going to make her be defensive. This is going to only blow up in her face to make her feel like nobody has her back or nobody wants to see her win. Because we do want to see her win, regardless of her being messy and regardless of this situation being odd and weird. We do want to see her win, but this ain't the way.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because I think a lot of people do want to see Carly find love. We were happy to see. I mean, she redeemed herself with the music a little bit, but I don't think Carly's ever going to find love on television. I think Carly needs to let go of the television and really look at her investments and what they can bring her and step away from the show. She cannot act like this forever. She can't. This chick premiered about a year after me and James got out of high school, and Carly been here the whole time. That's damn near 20 years, and she just acting a fool still. I don't understand it, but I also, like James said, it's a show, but I don't know. Zell can't seem to keep friends. But moving on, Scrappy, Rennie, Rucci, and Saucy perform. Now, Scrappy, you are the definition, I won't say of a one-hit wonder, but he is forever going to perform that song. If we could get crunk in the club. Listen, and I'm not going to lie, I'm still listening to old music myself. I was just at the Millennium Tour. I went, sure did, have floor seats and everything. And when Boozy came on stage, because during the time Scrappy was popular, Boozy was popping too, must have lost my mind. I thought it was 2007 again. Lord help me. But, his little song's good. I'm just like, Scrappy, I don't know if he'll ever follow up that hit. Do you know what I mean, James? I just don't know.
No, he won't, but it's okay.
He won't.
It's all right.
But
it's all right.
They did well performing, everybody. They did do very well. But during the fashion show, Erica had to tell Imani to be cool around Bambi because, Bambi was dancing to Scrap's music, which is weird because they're beefing. And then Erica was dancing to his music as well. And I didn't like how Bambi just assumed that Erica was like singing or talking or dancing to try and get her attention. Bambi, Erica's never going to try and compete with you. Erica chose not to marry Scrappy, not the other way around. Everything Erica said you would get in your marriage, you got. Now, Erica may act the fool at all of this, but when she wants to move on, she could. And she can, as she did when she had them 2 kids. So, Bambi, let it go. Now, I love how Erica told her daughter, be cool. Don't be acting a fool on your stepmama here. Bambi, whatever you did to piss off that child like that, I think is more to the story. The grudge that girl is holding because your stepdaughter do not like you. It's just a messy situation. But Bambi is upset essentially that Scrappy and Erica went on a podcast and talked shit about her with her kids running around in the background. And I'm looking at I'm like, at least he had the kids, but it is kind of weird to have your kids with your ex-wife who you cheated on your first baby mama with. It's weird to have the kids running around while you guys are on a podcast talking about her. And Erica did look surprised that the baby was there. But then if I saw the little boy's head going back and forth in that small little clip, I'm sure Erica could see if she was right there. But then we have to also remind Bambi, you mad about some shit that you've done. You talk shit about Erica's parenting to a point where CPS got involved in the court. And you're mad about a little podcast. I don't give a damn either about the fact that Bambi's kids is younger. I don't care about that part because I'm sure Scrappy be having them kids around far worse. But it's interesting that Bambi wants us to feel sorry about that. My kids were there. The same way Erica's kids can watch her be dragged, not just the one she has with Scrap. The same way you came for Erica's daughter and dragged her. The same way you lied on her daughter publicly. The same way you went to police and snitched to DFS on Erica and had her investigated by Child Protective Services. Bambi does not get to argue or complain in that situation. She just does not. In my opinion, Erica's wrong and Bambi's wrong, and they need to move the fuck on because neither of them are with Scrappy anymore. And really, they shouldn't have to see each other because Imani is an adult. So, I mean, that's how I felt. James, how'd you feel?
The same. I feel like, why is this still a situation when this baby is grown that y'all don't have to co-parent? Y'all don't have to do anything. Like, y'all ain't got to be around each other. So, yeah, it's too much. And y'all know I don't like Erica. So, it's just, every time I see her, my skin crawls. I'm just like, just get off the screen.
I like Erica and how she is with her friends. I do not like how Erica moves with the Scrappy situation, if that makes sense. Like, I love to have her as a friend, but I would hate to date her or to know anybody that she dated. I just would. Now, Amy Luciani makes an appearance, and she's been gone, but we know in real time she was running off with Dwight Howard and all of those allegations. And everyone knows that she has a new man. And Amy made a comment that annoyed me. I hate women like this who, when they get a man, they suddenly are you know, because I keep my stuff tight and I do this. But then when they don't have a man, is something different. Amy gives that. She's very wishy-washy. But okay, Amy, congrats on your relationship that we all laughing at. I'm sorry, James, before I move on, did you want to add anything?
No, you can move on. I ain't
Okay.
about to say.
So Bambi ends up walking up to Scrappy and tells him, and this is after the performance when he's trying to leave. And she walks up to him and it's like hella security, hella guards in the way. And she's like, hey, yo, if you talk shit about me in front of my kids again, I'm going to knock you the fuck out. I said, oh. She said she tired of being quiet. So she went back to the Bambi that we got in Basketball Wives LA back in the day. And Scrap was telling the camera, he said, this is how she is back behind the screen all the time. That's why I got out of there. And I did feel like during their marriage, there were a lot of times that Bambi was not there for her husband emotionally, especially when he was exposing some things that he had to deal with growing up, trauma, abuse, things of that nature. Like she was not really fully there for her husband. And I understand a lot of women would be like, well, she has small kids. Oh, fucking well. Your husband is also still a priority, and the kids weren't around in moments where he needed her. And there were times that she wasn't there as well. Doesn't make it right for him to cheat? No. But she wasn't exactly the best spouse. So I do believe him when he says that Bambi was difficult to deal with off camera. I do believe him when he says that, because without her, he seems to be doing okay. Like maybe not in the bedroom because he's making babies with bitches he barely know who got no way of knowing how to speak English properly. However, you know, without her, he seems okay for the most part. Scrappy ignored her and just walked away. I'm just like, Bambi, you could have been said something, commented somewhere, sent a phone call, went to your lawyer. Don't come saying something at an event. You have anything to add, James? How'd you feel about that?
You know, I agree with you. I do. But I feel like to some extent, that's putting way too much responsibility on her to show up in a way to where there's not going to be a resolve to that, to Scrappy's trauma, unfortunately, because he doesn't want to do the work. So I kind of feel like, in that essence, yes, he could be emotionally withdrawn and he could be emotionally stunted because of his mother and his trauma of where he lived. But how much of the responsibility of her being there, because we did see her at one point, she did support him in that as well. But how much more can she really do? And how many times can we really hear this? Because I hear what you're saying, because I agree with that. She was trash, and I feel like she is difficult. I do agree with that. But to some extent, I feel like there's only so much she can do. And there's only so many times that she can really be there before she goes, okay, look, you don't want the help. You don't want to change. You want to continue to have this sorrow versus doing the work to say, okay, this was my past. My mama wasn't this. My mama wasn't that. I need to evolve. At some point, he has to take responsibility too. So I agree with you, but at some point, I feel
He
like
does, but if it was Erica, might feel the same. But with Bambi, you knew what you were getting with this man, and you still chose to be with him. So therefore,
to
you should
me,
choose to
yeah,
fully support him. She knew that she would deal with bullshit from Mama D. She knew that she would deal with the baby mamas. She knew that she would deal with issues in finances. She knew that she would have trouble
and to
when
me,
they
I
got
feel like she was
divorced.
fine with all of that. I just think the emotional trauma was what was like too much. And I don't think she
She knew
realized.
he had it. She knew he had it.
Not to that extent. No, I don't think she knew he
She
had.
watched this show the
He
same
didn't
way we
expose
all
that like
did.
that,
And
but he didn't
Scrappy's
expose.
emotional trauma has shown since
No,
the
his
first
anger
moment we
showed.
saw him.
No, his anger showed. That's different. I don't agree with that. His anger showed in the
Anger
first
is a
season,
form of emotional trauma, one of the
not,
most common.
but not one that people recognize. Friend, I agree with you, but not one people can decipher and recognize that to be the same thing. So you have to look at it from the mindset, because we know this. You and I know this, but not everybody processes that in that same way. I'm not trying to make an excuse for Bambi, but what I'm saying is not everybody looks at anger in the same way we do. We know what that is. They look at that as somebody who is hot headed, and it's probably, and a lot of women love that about men too, which is toxic within itself.
But it's not just the anger she had an issue with. She had an issue and complained about his relationship while married to his mom. But she knew how that relationship was prior to getting with him, even went through hell before marrying him
I feel like it
with
was
the
his
mama.
responsibility to set those boundaries with her too.
She could have done a lot more, and I just be feeling like Bambi. Oh, my phone ringing. I be feeling like Bambi wants people to feel sorry for her and what she dealt with Scrap, but it's like she's the one person who's dealt with him aside from Shakira that knew exactly what they would get. So I don't be feeling sorry for them. Shakira too. You crying about Mama D being difficult.
Blame that she should have been going above and beyond something that she couldn't help. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, she's, the thing is, you got to be careful how you get with people because it may never be respected by some. Yeah. And I think with Bambi, that's just what it is, the way she moves and stuff. With this specific situation, I think she knows also that no one respects it. And I feel like that's why she's doing stuff differently in her current relationship, trying to be celibate until marriage and making different, choices, separate rooms instead of rushing and finding someone who seems to be available and don't belong to someone else. Hello, Dublin, Ireland. Welcome, welcome, welcome. 10 Crimes. Thank you for being here. But yeah, Bambi, she just irks me. I'm getting tired of it. It's like, girl, let it go. You got you went to court, you done. They said some shit you didn't like. You said some stuff they didn't like. The stuff that you said resulted in someone actually getting investigated. The stuff that they said resulted in nothing. Your kid was running around. Scrappy probably gave the boy too much sugar. It looked like the kid couldn't sit still. Hell. So I don't understand why Bambi was so mad. But okay, Bambi. Okay. Sure. Spice completed the album art for the cast album. This is a cipher. It's not an album. They're all on the same beat. I don't understand why Spice insists on calling it that. I don't know. Do you have anything to add about the album art?
So we can move on because you already know how I feel about that album. So
it's a joke. It's a joke. Yandy and Amy, they go to see Carly Red at her house, and we ain't surprised. Y'all don't hate on me for how short I'm gonna keep it. There ain't gonna be no wedding. I'm not surprised. I'm speaking for James. He's not surprised. It's all went to shit. What else can we say? I'm not surprised. Do you have anything to add?
No, we are not surprised. No.
I mean, hell.
This is Carly Red we talking about. I could see if it was somebody else. No, we ain't surprised. Let's move on.
I'm not even sad for Carly because, come on, girl. That man been showing you he don't want you. The way he tried to leave you in a foreign country.
The way he was in somebody old 1989 Lincoln town car trying to find him. Yes. We got you. No, we good. Move on.
God help us. All right, moving on. So Zane, Scrappy, Mama D, and Jock decided to all get together and go to eat. Mama D, why are you there? This scene did confirm that I guess Zane has known Scrappy and Mama D from what it sounds like for 20 years, which is a bit of time. But they're talking. Mama D starts complaining about Shakira, baby mama number 3. And Zane comments that Mama D going through all this stress and stuff from Scrappy's situation isn't exactly why them as men got to learn how to wrap it up and stop stressing their mamas out. Zane, I would almost feel you, but why couldn't you learn how to keep it in your pants and wrap it up to stop stressing out your child's mama or your wife, who is also somebody's mama? But okay, Zane, sure. Now, Scrappy gets real aggressive with Zane out of nowhere. It kind of escalated quickly. It was very childish. And he says to Zane, because Zane was interrupted while Scrap was talking to Mama D. And Scrappy's like, I'm talking to my mama, cause this is my mama. I said, why are you defending your mama like that's your bitch? Because Zane did not disrespect Mama D.
Because she
just did not.
Do that.
You said what?
She trained him to do that.
Crazy. That don't make no sense.
Insane thing I've ever seen in my life. First of all, Zane is 5'2". Ain't nothing your mama can't handle. I promise you. She ain't even, she could flick him and he gonna fly to the other side of the room. What is you getting all this irate for? Like, I was like, were you in the same room? Were you listening to the conversation?
Child.
Like, come on now.
Craziness. Makes no sense. It was stupid. Zane basically says, because Scrappy's like, it's my mama. And Zane was like, it's basically my mama too. I've been knowing her 20 years. This pisses off Scrappy. And so he brings up Ashley. He's like, that's like saying Ashley's my wife, which the two are not comparable. You cannot compare calling another man's wife playfully your wife as calling someone else's mom playfully your mom. My best friend Leona,
No, it
very
makes
close
perfect
to
sense to
her.
me.
Her mama, there's been times I refer to her as my mom. You know what I'm saying? Anyone you close to, usually, that's how it goes.
Friend, look at it differently. It made perfect sense to me.
How?
It made perfect sense to me. Think back a couple episodes where when Bambi brought that boy and Zane was defending Scrappy, not even, giving that man a hard time and all up in that man's face and like realistically doing the most as if he was wearing a pink roller set, a robe and some slippers. That made perfect. This scene made perfect sense to me. I'm looking at two lovers fight. I'm looking at two lovers fight. And when Scrappy said, that's like saying Ashley is my wife too, I said, oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense to me. It does. And I know I'm crazy, y'all. I know that's not really what it is. But I'm just saying, had I not known these people, I would have thought Scrappy and Zane were together.
Yeah, they act weird. And
They
they
act
like
weird.
Scrappy too old to still be getting so mad to where you almost fighting in restaurants. And Atlanta must be used to this shit because the fact that they didn't get put out.
Girl,
Okay, restaurant.
yeah, restaurants. I wouldn't say nothing either. Hell, just don't fuck up my shit.
They say y'all gonna pay us.
And y'all pay me, and then y'all put the name of the restaurant at the bottom of the thing so people can know to come and say the food good as hell in the scene. Yep, and that's it.
Craziness. I can't stand up. Now they get to fight, and I was cracking up because Mama D trying to calm him down. And she goes to Jane and she's like, "This my son, so I'm gonna have to stick over here now." But she tells Zane, "Now you stop it. I'm gonna call your mama." I was cracking up when Mama towering over that little man, saying, "You stop this right now before I call your mama." Mama D, this is what's wrong with Scrappy. This is exactly what's wrong with Scrappy. Why are you treating this as if you at home and you trying to whip up dinner and you hear your kids who's about, I'd say, anywhere from 9 to 16 having a friend over, things go wrong. Now they acting a fool and you got to call one of their mamas to come and get them or to get them to calm the hell down. Why? And Baba D was funny for that. That's all I'm gonna say. They end up sitting back down and making peace, like the weird dysfunctional Black people that they are. And I'm gonna say this: I was Jock. They getting up to fight. Jock sat in that chair laughing, finished his drink, and ate his food. That's how you know this is normal in Scrappy's family. I can't because Jock was
That's
too
how you know
comfortable.
this is normal. I feel like they in love with each other. I do.
They might be the way Zane was mad
The way
about
Zane was
being.
mad at the way Zane was mad at Bambi's new man and shit, and the way he was trying to have Scrappy's back when it was like, what the fuck are you doing? She's allowed to move on the same way Scrappy to moved on. He got a whole baby coming. What the hell are you jumping in this man's face for? It was the way he was doing that, because I said that in that video. That was weird to me. Either you want Scrappy or you want the new man Bambi had, because why are you smiling and cheesing at him and then making it apparent to go and get in that man's face? And then you and Scrappy getting into it, I just thought I was watching a couple fight. I really did. Ashley, you asking the wrong questions about Carly. You need to be looking at Scrappy.
That's the truth.
I'm just saying, you need to be looking at Scrappy, because to me, and as I said, I don't put it past any man. I don't put homosexual thoughts past any man, and they in Atlanta of all places. Yeah. So come on, I'm not gonna, y'all can say, "Oh no, Scrappy don't." I don't care. I don't put that past any man. Any man can do anything.
A lot of men, though, just so y'all don't like come from my friend James, like in psychology and statistics and things of that nature, where people are training to, like, for instance, have an emphasis in working with the LGBTQ community. You have to learn about things like that.
Yeah.
And it's actually very common that a lot of men who are in the closet, especially in the communities of color, will just still keep a woman, cheat on her left and right with everything from the left to the right. So, I mean, I can't put it past them. I just cannot.
I wish I could because it looks weird, but at the end of the day, no, I can't. Because to me, Zane's behavior is weird.
It is. It is.
Zane's
Scrappy's
behavior,
too.
Scrappy's too. You know, Scrappy's as well. But we've seen more of Zane's bad behavior than we have Scrappy when it comes to this allegiance that they have. First of all, we didn't know Zane and Scrappy were this close. Let's put
Exactly.
that out there first.
And
then
people
Scrappy,
been wondering where Lil Zane is. You would think.
you would think he would have been here since season 1. But no, we're just now seeing this. It's kind of like chaotic. Like I almost wonder about them too as well, because the way they fell out, it was like a couple breaking up. So I'm just like, I'm like, maybe it's just me, and maybe I'm just being weird. But I'm not.
No, I think Scrappy with Chaotic, I didn't get that vibe from him, but I did get that vibe from Scrappy, because when they fell out, Chaotic handled it the way any like man would who's not dealing with somebody romantically, regardless of orientation. He was so done with it, but Scrappy was not willing to let that shit go. He's still talking about it today.
He was emotional, but it was like, it's like, okay, did something more happen that I don't know about? And so now I'm looking at Zane and I'm looking at Scrappy like, no, there's something more that's happening. Because that's weird. And was for Scrappy to say, that's like saying Ashley is my wife because you saying my mama is your mama. It was like, oh no, I know exactly what I'm looking at now. That's weird. I need them to clarify and say, hey, no, that's not what we meant. Because Mama D is for everybody. Mama D check on everybody. Like she is the Mama D. She check on Shayla in Miami. She
does.
Checks on everybody. So for him to say that, it's kind of like, yeah, she does feel like my mama because she checks on me like a mama would check on her child.
I'll just tell y'all this, and that's common in friendships. I haven't met James' moms yet, but I'm sure if I meet her and she like me and I like her, that something could happen. If you close with somebody and then they got somebody they close to, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get to know that person as well. And if it's a parent, especially a good parent, usually they end up embracing you as well. My best friend Leona, her mama, shout out to Charlotte people. She's looked out for me, but sometimes been more of a parent to me. Same thing happened with my husband's mama. That's a little different dynamic, but we refer to her as our mom cat, just like a mom. Hell, hear from her more than my own mama, to be honest. So, nothing's wrong with what Zane wanted, but Scrap's interpretation was like strange. But a cake comes out. And basically, I was cracking up when Mama D, she said something old fake ass Maury Jerry Springer moment. And he burns this cake, and it reveals that he is the father of Shakira's child, which I think everyone knew looking at the baby. The only part of this that was worth it and funny, because Scrap did apologize to Zane, which was strange how they moved on so fast when they was just about to fight. But Mama D gonna say, and even if you wasn't the father, I was gonna steal that baby from that bitch. Mama D. Mama D.
There's Lifetime movies about shit like that.
There actually is.
I wouldn't be one to say things like that on national TV. Just saying, ma'am, because that's very incriminating if something does happen to that baby and there's footage to prove that you may be an affiliation. I'm just saying, I would refrain from saying shit like that. Just saying.
Mama D's crazy. She's simply crazy, y'all. She's crazy as hell. Now, we go move it along. Jessica White goes to see Bambi. Jessica White's been gone the last we saw her. I believe her sister passed away, and she had a couple of deaths. It wasn't just one. So condolences to Jessica White and her loved ones. It's always hard to lose someone. I empathize with that. Especially if they're losing close people in my immediate family, myself, like within the past month. I empathize with that, and she's still, keeping on. But now I kind of understand that, like, you have to keep going to work, keep doing stuff. It keeps your mind off the sadness. At least for me, it does. But, she's back on the screen. She talks with Bambi. I actually love their relationship. I had said this a couple episodes ago when Jessica found out someone passed. Bambi said all the right things. I think a lot of people struggle to know what to say to someone when they've lost someone, because you know that nothing you say can make it better for them. But Bambi definitely said the right things, and I could tell Bambi's a good friend. She didn't make it about her. But they talk, and Bambi learns through the talk that she wasn't invited to Spice's upcoming single release party. And Bambi decides that she wants to speak with Spice in person at this party because of a bunch of he said, she said bullshit, in my opinion. Now, I'm going to move it along unless James interrupts me and really wants to give an opinion.
No, I don't.
Okay, because nothing else really happened in that scene. And no, I didn't go over every little thing they discussed, just what was relevant to the episode. Jessica can go from the show, not because of the deaths in her family, but she's a flop. She's going back to modeling, which she can do. Beautiful woman. She has a career outside of this. I feel like she just came on this to kind of revive her career a little bit. But Spice has her single release party, and this is where Spice ends up giving Jessica a fake ass apology for ruining her party. And she only gave the apology because Jessica showed up while grieving. So are you sorry or not, Spice? Because regardless if the girl showed up or not, you should have reached out for throwing shit in her party and ruining it. What is it, Spice? I'm sick of Spice, y'all. She's just a bad person. And I want her to figure that out. But Spice takes Jessica takes Spice out of her own video release party and takes her outside to meet Bambi to talk to, which was a little odd because we know Spice gonna feel a way about that. And they try to talk. It just does not go well at all. It doesn't go well at all. So when they get to talking, Spice shows Bambi a video that she had in her phone, because I guess she's been filming a documentary showcasing herself and her life, trying to make I didn't quite understand the purpose of the documentary, James, as quiet as kept. But she's got cameras following her around. So she showed the footage to Bambi of Amy explaining that she had already wrote her verse in the car. Now, for those who are confused as to why this is relevant, there was an issue with the cast album. Amy came and did a verse for the cast album, and the verse was essentially a diss track to Bambi, because at the time, Bambi didn't like Amy because of Scrappy or something crazy like that. Bambi responded and said that she had a diss track as well. Now we're learning that I guess Bambi had another verse, which I believe, because originally it was supposed to be an album with different songs, not all of the people on the same song. And so it sounds like we got one of the verses and there was probably something else. But Bambi's been mad because she feels like Spice set them up and wanted them to go against each other and do diss tracks and didn't accept their original tracks. Spice is like, none of this is true. Look, here's the video. Amy had her verse written already. Here's her saying it out her mouth. So I'm annoyed because, you know, Bambi and Spice end up getting into it anyway. These two are just not friends. We know in real time they're beefing right now. We know that they're not going to stop beefing. I don't even fully believe their beef. I feel like a part of their beef is for views. I don't feel like these people actually have a beef. But okay, we shall see. So Bambi ends up leaving after causing a stir and acting the fool that she used to act on Basketball Wives LA, because I will never let that go. And Spice goes back into her own event, and she asked Amy if she told Bambi that her song was changed by Spice, essentially. And Amy denies that, even though Amy did make it seem like she had a totally different verse when the cast was in London. Amy be lying, and then she doubled down on her lies. And then she'll probably run off with Dwight so she can avoid having to be confronted or held accountable for her lies. By the way, that's nasty as hell that they share a toothbrush. I've been with the same person for 18 years, and we have never shared a toothbrush. Even when we was broke as hell, we did not share a toothbrush.
I'm not hungry anymore.
I said, why did Amy and that man film themselves on the internet in robes sharing a toothbrush?
I'm not even hungry no more. I was just thinking because I got to go to work here pretty soon. What can I get to eat? And now I'm not even hungry anymore.
Listen, I'm sorry, but
That's
I
that's
just had to
just
think about that.
nasty. That's just like why the hell? Like
Hot mess express, James. I
ugh,
know.
that's
Don't
just
don't do that in your marriage. I haven't done it, and
girl, please.
it's
When I
still
tell
going
you,
strong.
girl, the Dollar Tree is within walking distance of my new place. When I tell you, my ass will literally go to the Dollar Tree and get a slew of toothbrushes before we ever. Hell, we ain't even gonna be sharing mouthwash either.
Listen, the Dollar Tree got name brand mouthwash and toothbrushes. You might
Oh,
have to
yeah.
get it by the individual, but that's better than having to share. Just
Hmm.
saying. Even the grocery
Absolutely.
store got them for cheap. Uh, but Amy denies it. Zell jumps in because Zell rides for Bambi because they went to jail together and they both hang out with Erica Mena's racist ass. And I get Zell trying to defend his friend, but because Amy was trying to make it seem like Bambi doesn't like her and is going and getting each person one by one to turn against her, which sounded crazy. It sounded it genuinely sounded crazy to me. So Zell decides to jump in and starts calling Amy all types of bitches, acting like she's disgusting, accused her of touching him when she did not, all of this stuff. And I don't fucking like Zell's swag. I was very glad that Amy's, even though she lied, I was happy that Amy told him what he needed to hear. I know y'all like that Zell read Carly for filth because somebody had to, because Carly needs to hear like what he said. Like, stop making these dumbass decisions. Stop being delusional. People are still going to talk. So just make sure you're happy. However, you are a man. I don't care if you do date men. You don't have the right to talk to a woman that way. You don't. Zell is so comfortable calling her all types of bitches and messy and this. I don't care. You could be the gayest of gay. You could be Saucy Santana with makeup on. You're not going to talk to me crazy if you're a man. Go talk to another man that way, but you're not going to talk to me that way. So I don't like that Zell does that, especially when he has this negative ass narrative that prevents him from living in his own truth as what I believe him to be, a gay man. Zell seemed like the type of man that just slept a woman because he felt like he had to or was trying to find a reason to not be gay. He does not seem like the man that's sleeping with women and men because he's truly bisexual. He seemed like he got some shit he needs to figure out. I could be wrong. I am not gay. You know what I'm saying? So I won't claim to understand his experience. However, come on, bro. Come on. Figure out your own stuff and stop coming for females. Because Zell would never keep the same energy with a straight man. He wouldn't. I see him do it with gay men that are more feminine. I'll see him do it with a straight metrosexual man. Look it up if you don't know. I am not your dictionary or encyclopedia. I'll see him go off and act a fool with women, but I never see him do it with what he would view as just a regular straight man. So I don't like the way Zell moves. I respect him for trying to defend Bambi because, ride for your friends, but you could have wrote for Bambi without calling that lady out her name and doing all of that. That's just what I'm saying. How'd you feel about it, James?
I agree with you. I just feel like to me it was disrespectful. Like you still are a man regardless of your sexual orientation. And you have an allegiance to not necessarily be disrespectful. There's a way you could have handled that where it wouldn't have looked like disrespect, which is the proper way is to remove your friend from the situation before it got elevated,
Hmm.
before you had to insert yourself to say, hey, friend, now's not the time to do this. Let's go ahead and remove ourselves from this, please. And that's
Hmm.
all you had to do. But, that's what some men like doing in that region of area. So it didn't surprise me at all. But at the end of the day, it is very sad and is very pathetic. And I feel like what he gonna get what's coming to him because it took me back from when he had slapped that one man
Hmm.
on the reunion that one time, and I just remember I never saw it for him since then.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
So,
well,
yeah.
I can
So
agree with that, Joe. I can definitely agree with that. But that was pretty much all that happened in this episode. Now, I was confused. James says this is another season hiatus instead of ending season 12. I mean, don't they see that there's 31 episodes in total? But I think this is it for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta for this season. If it comes back next week, of course, we'll be here to recap it. If it doesn't, we will be replacing this show with Basketball Wives. I'm trying to think. We have Never Ever Met. I'm not doing Love After Lockup anymore, you guys. It just wasn't worth it for me because the show airs on a Friday. I don't like recapping on the weekend. I work Monday to Friday. I only get 2 days off, so I try to save my recaps for Sunday. But we have some shows on James's channel as well. He's going to be doing, what is it, Somebody's Son, Bravo's Love Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
What else you got? Love and Marriage Detroit. I feel like I'm forgetting something, James.
For Housewives of
Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, you didn't forget anything. I mean, I don't have anything else lined up. Yeah. I mean, I am doing the Love Hotel. I am doing
and I would not be on Love Hotel. You guys, I tried to watch it. I got through 20 minutes and I was like, I don't like Ashley Darby. I don't like Giselle. I don't like Luann. I think Bravo's just trying to capitalize on shows, but I will be popping into James's live to support, as I should. But we'll have Housewives of Miami coming back and a few other shows. So we're just going to be pretty light until June. Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way about Love Hotel because I was looking up reviews and stuff and watching some other YouTubers earlier in the week, and they should have chosen more likable housewives to do it for the first season. Do you know what I mean? Just for the first season.
Yeah, I feel like they did this because they know that the three of them, Luann, Giselle, and Ashley, are controversial, and they want to keep that element of prospect in there. And I hate that they do it that way because I don't like them. Because I don't feel like they're really going to gravitate to what the show should be about, which is them finding love. I think they're on there to bullshit and get a check. And I feel like society and people who watch are going to give them that afforded opportunity to do that. And that makes me mad altogether because I feel like I don't want to waste my time. If they really like finding love, then why the fuck am I watching this? That's how I feel. So,
yeah, I agree.
And I'm not afraid to make that point in my video. Because I know that they all are bullshitting. Giselle probably more than anybody, but yeah.
Ashley's looking for dick, but she needs to look for some vocal training because she got one more time to sing that song.
No, if she do that one more time, I swear I'm going off on Ashley. I would do an unpopular opinion and go to fuck off.
She said this show and Love and Marriage Huntsville seems like their episodes are nonstop. Love and Marriage is one of the worst reality shows I've ever watched in my life. I would rather watch Flavor of Love or Charm School again than to be involved in Love and Marriage. It has potential, though, is the problem. But they need to get rid of the cast. The cast aren't likable on either franchise.
I agree.
Lord, if they figure it out. She said, I want Roberta Flack to raise up and slap the shit out of her. A lot of people are saying that.
We all do because I don't know whose idea it was. I don't know who gave her the okay to do that, but
The only person who redid the song right was Lauryn Hill. So for Ashley to then think that she could do it better than Lauryn and Roberta is wild. Something's wrong with her. She needs to go back to dating white men because the Black community, them TikTok dances, her faux head, we don't want it. We don't want it. But that's it, you guys. We'll be back for more lives later in the week. I will eventually get the Valley up there. I don't know if it'll be today. I still have to watch the episode. But other than that, we love all of y'all. Thug Life. We hope you sub both channels. Link is in the description to James's channel. And we hope you have a good night. Thank you, James, and adios.
Adios.